Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to show you what it's like to travel on an aeroplane during this time. So my parents live out in Spain and we have been umming and ahhing whether we should actually get on our flight to go and visit them. But my mum and dad have just been begging for us to carry on with our travel plans and to go and visit them. So we have decided, we've chatted to my brother and my sister and mum and dad, and we've all agreed that because our kids are old enough to know how to follow the social distancing guidelines and all the other guidelines set out by the government, and obviously now that we can travel, everyone has agreed that we should go, and it will be so nice for mum and dad to see us and the boys. So we are traveling to Spain, we're traveling to Malaga, and I thought it would be quite helpful for some people because I know so many people have got holidays booked that haven't been cancelled, and they as well, like us, weren't sure whether they should postpone their travels or go. So I thought it would be quite helpful, hopefully, if I take you guys on our trip with us and show you what it's like in the airports, what it's like on the aeroplane, and what it's like on the other side as well. We've also got loads of protective gear that I'm going to show you in a minute for us to wear when we go on the aeroplane and in the airports. So what I'll do now is I'll turn the camera around and show you all of the protective equipment that I have got with us to use. If you have any questions you want me to answer, pop them down in the comments box and I will try and do my best to answer all of them as well as I can. So here are all the different bits that we have got to equip ourselves with. So we have got some masks each. We've got two sizes. These ones are adults and these ones are children, so they're bigger and smaller, and they also come with adjustable elastic at the sides to go over your ears so they can fit any face size. With those masks came these little filters, the adults one and a child's one, but you only got one per mask. So I went onto Amazon and I bought some extra filters. These are really like thick, good quality ones. So I bought 2 packs, they're 10 in a pack, and then we can change the filters over whilst we're traveling, or we'll have some for our way back as well. I also have some gloves. So this isn't mandatory, but I just got them because in case we wanted to wear them. I've got 8 pairs, so I've got 2 for each of us, one for the way out there, one for the way back. I think when I think about these, I think we'd probably wear them on the aeroplane and that's it, to be honest, because we wash our hands really frequently, but I don't want to go to the toilet on the aeroplane. I'm going to try and get the kids to go before we get on the plane. So if we want to wear them, we can, but like I said, it's not like compulsory to wear gloves. I've got 2 things of hand gel. So this is the obviously antibacterial hand gel. I will probably buy some more in the airport or when we're out in Spain because I think we'll probably get through those. And I've also got some antibacterial surface wipes. So these, again, whether we use them or not, I'm not sure. But if we want to wipe down our tray tables or any bits on the airplane, like the armrests or things like that, then we can do with that. And then we know that our area is quite sterile. Okay, so we've just got to Stansted Airport. So we booked the short stay red car park because it's like a 2-minute walk to the terminal and no one has to get in your car to move it if you do a meet and greet. I have just prepared all of our masks as well while we were traveling here. So I have put the filters in all of the masks. So we have each got a little mask all prepped and ready, and we're ready to go into the terminal. Let's do this. So like I said, we parked really close to the terminal, so it was just a really short walk into the terminal building. We only took hand luggage with us, but if we were going to be taking hold luggage, I would have just sterilised it before it went into the hole, like the handle and things, and then when we picked it up again, I would sterilise it with some wipes, and then obviously I would clean my hands afterwards as well. The first thing we noticed when we got into the airport that it was so quiet. Everyone was wearing face coverings, everyone was keeping their distance and being really, really considerate to others. I had checked us all in online, so all of our boarding passes were on my phone. So when we went through the gates to get into the security area, I just had to scan my phone for each of us to go through, so I didn't have to be in contact with anyone or touch anything. There's a new security section that's been made in Stansted Airport, which we went through. It felt very clinical and there were loads of screens everywhere. Everyone who worked there had gloves on and face masks, and it really put my mind at rest. Right, so I'm just editing this video and I just wanted to quickly add this in here. So when we got to Stansted Airport, I was half expecting there to be some security asking where we had been the last 14 days, if we'd been around anyone with symptoms, or if we'd displayed any symptoms in the last 14 days. But there was nothing like that, and also there were no thermal cameras anywhere that we could see to temperature check people. So I would have thought that would be more beneficial than having your temperature taken when you get to your destination, just because if someone is displaying symptoms or does have a temperature, then they would be stopped from getting on the airplane, and then, you know, it would stop any virus being spread between people. But that wasn't the case when you do go to the airport. I don't know if other airports might be different, but that's what it was like at Stansted Airport. Also, no one was wearing gloves. We did start wearing our gloves at the very beginning, but the boys complained that they would always fall off and like slip off their hands because they were so big for them, and also your hands got so sweaty as well. So we did end up taking them off, and that was purely because no one else had any gloves on apart from the staff that actually worked at the airport. As soon as we got through security, and because we had been handling things that others had handled, we all washed our hands again with hand sanitizer, and we also then went to the toilets as well and just gave our hands a really good wash in there as well. As we walked into the departure lounge, I really noticed that at the makeup stores they didn't have any testers out. It felt very bare in there, and obviously it's great because there are no testers for people to touch and put virus on if they have any. And also where some testers should have been, they actually had some hand gels there and things like that for you to use if you were going past and you wanted to give your hands another little once over. Also in the departure lounge, most shops were shut. I don't know if this was maybe because we had a really early flight and we were in the airport at 6 a.m, but that's one thing we really noticed, that it felt really eerily deserted. In some ways it was actually quite nice because you had so much space around you to not worry about getting too close to people or bumping into anybody. My favourite place to go in Stansted Airport is Joe and the Juice, and I always get a coffee there and a little ginger shot, but that was also shut. There were a couple of shops open like JD Sports, Boots was open, and also Starbucks open as well, so Chris and I could get a coffee there. When you go into the departure lounge and you look on the board for your flight, that was another thing that we found very strange, because normally when you look on the board you have to wait for the board to kind of flip over once or twice until your flight comes up. But when we looked up on the board, there was a 4-screen board and only 1.5 of the screens were showing flights. And as soon as we actually got into the departure lounge, our gate number was showing already. This was about an hour and a half before the flight was meant to take off. Before we all boarded the plane, I wanted us all to go to the toilet so that hopefully we wouldn't need to go to the toilet whilst we were on the aeroplane. But I think that was kind of wishful thinking, to be honest with you. Because our plane was there and ready for us to board, everyone started boarding quite early and quite slowly, just at their own pace. Obviously priority went first, but I was actually quite surprised at how full the flight was. I don't think I actually saw an empty seat, and when we all sat down I didn't feel nervous about being on there at all. All the cabin crew were really friendly, made you just feel really at ease. So on board it's compulsory obviously for everybody to wear masks, except for under 12s where they didn't have to wear them. The boys kind of put them on and off throughout the flight. When you're obviously eating and drinking you can take them off, but all other times you have to keep your mask on. Everyone really abided by the rules and I didn't see anybody with their masks off. Once we took off, they announced that if anyone needed to go to the toilet we weren't allowed to queue down the aisle for it. Instead we had to press the call button above our heads, and one of the cabin crew would let us know when we could go to the toilet. If I'm honest, I didn't notice anybody pressing the call button, but I also didn't notice any queuing down the aisles. Everyone was being really considerate again. The seatbelt signs remained on throughout the whole flight, which I actually think was quite a lot nicer because you didn't like have a constant stream of people going past your chair. On board they also didn't give you any magazines like they usually do to minimise germ spreading. For the full menu you needed to download the Ryanair app. All the instructions were actually on the seat headrest in front of you, and also if you wanted to get a receipt this was also downloadable online. The food was still available, the drinks were still available, and also they offered the duty free as well still. Other than that, the flight was just like normal. Like I said, I actually think it was quite nice as hardly anyone got out of their seats and wandered around. There were loads of other kids on board too, and they all looked really happy. Our boys like to play with their tablets when they're on board, and they did that happily sitting there. And then when we landed and got to Malaga Airport, we went through passport control. As usual, they just kind of quickly looked at our passports and waved us through. But then when we were coming out to where you collect your baggage, we had to hand in, this is an essential thing you have to do now, we had to fill in a almost like a landing card where you answer questions saying where you have been for the last 14 days, if you've been in contact with anyone with any of the symptoms, or if you've displayed any symptoms as well. You also need to write on there where you'll be staying whilst you are over in Spain, just so that they can contact you if anyone on the flight does get the coronavirus while you're away, so they can tell you to then isolate. They also have a temperature checking system there as well, so they've got these big kind of, they look a bit like cameras on stands, and as you go through they temperature check everybody, and then I guess they pull people aside if they have a higher temperature. I didn't see anybody get pulled to one side, but that's what they are there for. And then they keep your little kind of landing card so they can get in touch with you if they need to. We just then went straight down to get our hire car, got in our hire car. Chris wiped down the steering wheel and the dashboard and the gear stick. Right, we've just got off the aeroplane and we've got into our hire car now. So we've taken our masks off for the first time. It's 12 o'clock now. We've taken our masks off for the first time since 6 a.m. this morning. We all felt a bit like claustrophobic in them, like it was quite hard to breathe, but you do kind of get used to it when you are, when you've had them on for quite a while. Everything went really well. The flight was so quick. It was 2 hours and 2 minutes. I've never ever come to Spain, like to Malaga. No, it wasn't. It was 2 hours and 2 minutes. It landed like extra early. When the pilot said first of all it would be 2 hours and 15 minutes, we were like, wow, that's quick, because usually it's about 2.5, 2:45. But yeah, it was 2 hours and 2 minutes. Maybe that's just because there's no air traffic, so they could have just come straight into land. So yeah, all in all, it was a really, really simple flight and we didn't get scared at all. Right, we've just got to my mum and dad's house, so I just wanted to let you know like how we ended our journey here. So what we did, as soon as we arrived at mum and dad's, we all stripped off, we cleaned our shoes, and we put all of our flight gear, everything we've been using, in the washing machine. We also put straight into the pool. We also put all our bags and everything away, and our plane shoes in a separate cupboard as well. So we're just going to leave those for the whole week that we are here, and then wear those when we come back home. We didn't feel worried at all flying. It was a really actually enjoyable experience. So I really hope this video has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, like I said, just ask and I will try and answer them as well as I can. So yeah, if you're going anywhere, then enjoy your flight and enjoy your holiday, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.